You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to the second half of the Factor Uncensored. The country's struggles with immigration has taken another turn in a move that some are calling reverse freedom rides. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has flown dozens of immigrants from Texas to Martha's Vineyard. My next guest believes the gesture is just a hollow political stunt. Let's get to it.
Cesar, when you have seen what the Republican governors have done, not only here in Texas, but in Florida and in other places, your thoughts on this strategy that they're using?
Just two words that come to mind is political theater. I mean, at the end of the day, they're busing people or they're flying people now using sometimes taxpayer money, sometimes private funding, where really these resources could be used for many things, including ameliorating the conditions here in the state of Texas. In Florida, I don't know what their deal is, but obviously they just want to score political points by attacking immigrants once again, by dumping them in places that they don't know. One of the things that worries us the most is when people get taken to places they don't know, and then their paperwork gets sent elsewhere. Then these people will be missing very important dates, very important court appearances. So at the end of the day, this is not the way to go. This is not the way we're going to fix or make the situation better.
Angela Box, would you agree with that? Your thoughts on what the Republican governors have done?
Well, you know the old saying, don't threaten me with a good time. And I am loving the schadenfreude of this whole situation. Leftists for many, many years have been talking about how no human is illegal and we need to have an open border. And let me tell you something, the only reason Democrats want open borders is because they think all these brown people are going to be voting for Democrats. But this is the racism of the left. And this is why more and more Hispanics are becoming Republicans, because nobody wants to deal with what illegal aliens bring to most communities. We're talking about rampant drugs, fentanyl out of control, human and child smuggling. I was at a border summit today, and the stories I heard about what they do to these children that just disappear into the ether would curl your hair. They don't care what happens to public schools. They don't care what happens to public infrastructure. And the fact that these Republican governors, Abbott, I think, is doing a great job right now. I think that Ron DeSantis, though, just upped it. He's like, oh, you want to send illegals to Chicago, New York, and San Francisco? I'll see that, and I'll raise you, and I'll send you to Martha's Vineyard, where Barack Obama and a bunch of rich white leftists live, and we're just going to see how they like it. And let me tell you how they liked it. They were like, oh, we're so much better than everybody else for like 25 minutes. And then what they do, they called in the National Guard to get those illegals out of there. So spare me your crocodile tears, leftists, because this is schadenfreude. I am taking pleasure in your misfortune. And it's like, you want all these illegal aliens in your sanctuary cities and sanctuary states? Here's some illegal aliens for you. It's awesome.
All right, Tony, let's hear your response to that.
Well, if you notice one thing about these right-wing Republican governors, they haven't deported enough undocumented workers to affect the construction industry, because then, all the business people that own all these different businesses that exploit all these workers would school them and tell them, slow down. We need more workers. We need to exploit more workers. Your suburban families would be saying, slow down. We need more folks to exploit to take care of our elders because we can't afford home care. And here's the other thing, Isaiah. DeSantis, this is the same nut that doesn't want people to read books. They have erroneously called this campaign anti-critical race theory. There's just these censorship programs because he doesn't want people to read history, because if people read history books, they'd find out that a lot of these immigration waves were caused by American intervention destabilizing different democracies in other countries. So the original 9/11, the original September 11th was in Chile, when the U.S. helped back a dictator, Pinochet, to overthrow Allende, who was fairly elected. So the people are coming because we've stabilized their backyard. So DeSantis doesn't want you to know that. He just wants to run for office, doesn't want you to read, and wants to fool people into think he's doing something about immigration, but he's not.
And Angela, when we go to what Governor DeSantis did in Florida, and we're not even talking about immigrants who came into Florida, he got them from Texas and flew them to Martha's Vineyard.
They're mostly El Salvadorians and Colombians, and so that's not Mexicans.
You're wrong.
Yes, it is. And the Biden
it's not.
administration, yes, it is. And the Biden administration's policy to get rid of Remain in Mexico has been a huge problem. And to laughingly say that this somehow has to do with destabilization, no, it's because a Democrat president and lunatics like Mayorkas and Kamala Harris, the dumbest vice president we have ever had, basically said we now have an open border. We have 2 million illegal aliens coming through. And also to say that we wouldn't have workers if we didn't have Mexicans blowing leaf blowers and pushing around babies in strollers is the height of racism, which is always on the left that this happens every single time.
Well, the only ones talking about open borders ever are far-right Republicans. I've never heard any platform about open borders ever. So it's only Republicans who keep bringing this up at the end of the day. And it's a broken immigration system that they mind and benefit from and keep milking for cheap votes.
Yeah, and you want, the globalists want illegal immigration, Tony. Haven't you figured that out yet? It's Republicans, it's conservatives who are saying, stop this nonsense. That's
and only when it's convenient for them, because at the end of the day, when people use the reason why people keep coming, or one of the main reasons, is because there's jobs for them here. There's people that take advantage of this broken immigration system to maximize profits and to continue to build roads and houses and restaurants. I mean, and the Governor Abbott never complained during the pandemic when immigrants were the ones that were frontline workers keeping the United States running. And to correct you, the largest number of undocumented immigrants coming in are actually Guatemalans because of climate change in Guatemala and Venezuelans because of what's happening in Venezuela. And for you to laugh and for you to make mockery of the fact that people are coming in fleeing really bad things is laughable. Right now, you said you're laughing at children being torn apart. You're laughing at the fact that people are being, even though your immigration laws allow for people to come in and seek asylum, and now you're laughing at your own code, immigration code, that allows for people to do this. So at the end of the day, you know, part of what Tony was saying of the ignorance and the lack of reading and the lack of, and really the tunnel vision that the far right has created for themselves is shooting themselves in the foot. And hopefully we will see this change in November when people realize what they're doing, when people realize the political theater that's being played out. And just like Trump, that everybody else like Abbott and DeSantis are booted out of office and never allowed to come back and indicted for violating civil rights of a lot of these people who are here and who are just trying to do right by their family.
I don't even
All right, Angela, wrap us up. 30 seconds, Angela.
That was so absurd. You hit every single leftist talking point. I meant that the people coming to Martha's Vineyard are mostly El Salvadorans and Colombians. And the idea that climate change is causing illegal immigration, I mean, it is so...
Read what happened with the volcano in Guatemala.
Stop it.
No, I'm not going to stop because I'm not going to let you spew lies. I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you.
All right, guys, we're out of time. We'll bring you back next time. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Jawanda, number 2.
Factor Uncensored. We're out of time.